So I love putting boxes together for you instead of sort of opening one up for you. So you can actually, I know at least what order I'm showing you all the stuff in. And as usual, we have a box. This is a high-end box. It's actually been made by monks. Okay, maybe not, but it's a box and I'm sure it's recyclable. You guys ready? Putting these things together is fun. This box is one that has a couple really special things in it, and it's a little bit over $220 in retail value. And our goal is always to be above 200 and to push as hard as we can. And one thing that you are getting that is exceptionally rare and hard to get is a signed edition of this. There are no book signing tours. I have not traveled around. I sat down for a couple days and signed books for you guys. It was so much work, but I thought you were worth it. So on an hourly basis, that was probably the worst thing I've ever done, to be perfectly honest, but I don't care. So this is the one I haven't signed, but I want to show you guys something. So when you get it, on this page, the second page here, it says Fast This Way. So I'm going to sign this one. All right, so yours is going to look like that, except you might have something special, which I have to add on here. Let me open my drawer here. Now, if you've been to the conferences I put on, when I hang out with you, I have these face stickers. It is actually me. Can you see that? It's a little, let's see, can you see that? It's a little picture of me. And a good number of you have a sticker right there on the A for Fast This Way. If you got a book with a sticker, you are going to be the first, the first people, because there's a bunch of these, who receive the brand new magnetic coffee flask. This is something that we don't have on the website yet for Upgrade Labs, but it is the coolest coffee thing I've ever seen for making coffee, or well, it's not a brewer, but you basically, I don't even have the prototype with me, but you're basically getting it. And I'm going to send all of you a link, even when it's on the website. So this is, the lid on it though is magnetic, and it's, I'm kind of a snob for coffee mugs. Contigo makes the best mug you can get right now. There's some that look fancier, but the Contigo doesn't leak. This thing won't leak, but it's cooler. Like, it is awesome. And you'll be the first on earth to get it. And that's not counted in your box value. So if you got a sticker, yay. All you have to do is email info@daveasprey.com with a picture of it, because we took a picture of them. So like, we know all the ones that have it. We don't know who got them because we just put them in boxes. So it's completely random. But just info@daveasprey.com, and you are going to get this thing. I don't even know what the value of the upgraded coffee flask is, but it's awesome, awesome, awesome. But you got a signed book. No one else on earth got a signed book. So you are in a very rare thing. If you already have the book, this is a unique and amazing opportunity for you to give your unsigned copy, or maybe give your signed copy, depending on how nice you are, to someone who needs to know how to fast. So this is all about paying it forward, right? Next up, to help you guys get going, whether to see what Bulletproof Coffee does for you, whether it help you see what your fast is doing for you, or if you're in keto, got you a pretty slick thing. This is a Keto Mojo. Okay, I forgot. I need to put this in the box. So there we go. I'm putting it in the box. Keto Mojo gives you blood glucose monitoring, but also ketone monitoring. So this is a full-on ability to pick your finger, get a tiny sample of blood, and let's try a better picture on this side of it. But it actually lets you know your ketone levels. So one of the things that came out in a study with Dr. Murad on the recent edition of Bulletproof Radio was they found, for instance, that fasting Monday, Wednesday, Friday for women, specifically in that study, raised ketone levels over the course of the week. So you can actually see, after I have my brain octane in the morning, what does it do? What I found using this years ago is that when I had my normal Bulletproof in the morning, even if I ate carbs at night, which I often recommend, then the next morning my ketones will go up to 0.5. And for you, this is the magic number. That's the number where ghrelin drops, which is a hunger hormone, and CCK goes up, which is the fullness hormone. So anything above that, you can be in more ketosis, but that's what makes fasting easy. So this is quantitative ways for you to do it. And this is a very nice keto monitor. It'll also give you your blood sugar. So if you're not using the levels thing like I've got on the back of my arm here, the levels continuous glucose monitor, this is a way for you to say, let's test this 45 minutes after a meal and see how much your blood sugar shoots up and go, oh, maybe I shouldn't eat that again. So next time you have pizza, or beer, you'll be reminded. The Keto Mojo is, I would say, the highest end focus one that's out there. It's FDA Class 2 approved. There's an app that's even HIPAA compliant if you care about that. I don't. HIPAA is just basically a bunch of bureaucracy to make money for IT companies. I know I used to sell HIPAA platforms in another life. And in the previous box, you got something called the Heads Up Health Platform. The Keto Mojo plugs into that. And you get 10 discs and other stuff that's pretty cool with it. So it's a good setup. Next up, this is another really cool toy. It's called the Relaxator. Come on, camera, you can do it. There we go. I've talked a lot about breathing. James Nestor's been on, and I've shared with you guys in previous boxes things where you tape your lips, like a lip seal tape for sleep. But the Relaxator is a way to train your breathing habits. And as you exhale, it gives you an adjustable amount of resistance. So what it does is it's like weight training for your lungs. So you're like, and when you breathe out, you're pushing against resistance. And that regulates carbon dioxide and nitric oxide in the body. You can use it anywhere you can use it, as long as you're not talking on Zoom, because people will think it's a binky. But basically, all you do is you open the thing up. It has that variable resistance that's in it. And well, you suck on it essentially, and you breathe out. And you'll feel when it's on the tightest setting, you're like working. And that's what it's all about. So I'm really impressed with what happens, even if you just do a couple of minutes a day of focusing on the strength of your diaphragm. These are muscles you can't train at the gym, but it's, the interstitials, it's the stuff in here, and you feel a difference in just every day with it. So putting the Relaxator in the box for you and dropping it on the floor while I'm at it. All right. Other stuff. Actually, this is I'm so happy with all this. What order do I want to go in? Oh, you've got this. This is an amazing description manual that tells you everything you need to know. It's very, very swanky. All right. That's always in there. But $99 value. You guys have any guesses? It mimics the effects of fasting. It's a supplement. Any guesses? Put in the Zoom comments if you're on here. I'm curious. Can anyone guess? I see some chats coming in here. Spermidine, dude, you guys all read my mind. Yeah, spermidineLIFE. This is a supplement I am so stoked about. If you guys read Superhuman, which I'm guessing you probably did, I wrote about kind of illegally importing probiotics, so I couldn't read the label from Japan. It was the only way to get spermidine because it was a bacteria that made it, and you don't know how much you get, whether it actually implants in your gut. Spermidine increases autophagy, and it's a fasting mimetic. You take it during a fast. And I like to take 2 of these a day, or actually 4 quite often, but you can even just do 1 a day. So this is a newly available supplement, and it's on my permanent list of stuff I'm going to be taking for years. And I think it's one of the most beneficial anti-aging supplements. Do it in the morning or at night in the middle of an intermittent fast, and you're going to get more results from the fast. And that's what this is all about. Hey, if you could fast less and get more results, you would do that, right? So this is a really cool add-on. And Don says he takes it and loves it. And Kira says, why you can't get it in Canada. I'm pretty sure it'll just be in the box when it comes over the border. Can you use spermidine with a long-term water fast? I will say there's no evidence either way. If you're not muted, mute yourself, Stephen. Stephen Whiteside, we're talking to you. Thanks, man. So I think it would be good to use spermidine during a long-term water fast. One other thing that happens when you take spermidine, your gut bacteria actually start to manufacture more spermidine. So it probably turns on some cool stuff. So if it's a water fast, though, some people say, well, it's a supplement, it's not water. But would I take it? I would. And Don said the discount code still works for spermidine, even on the subscription. Ooh, that's a good deal. Do you know the discount code? Can you post it in there?
Yes.
Okay, we'll post. It's probably spermidinelife.com/Dave or spermidinelife.us/Dave, something like that. But if there you go, it's Dave 25. So thank you, Brian. So that means if you subscribe and you get 25% off, it looks like that might be permanent. That would be super cool. But anyway, you guys got a bottle to give it a shot. It's really cool. The other thing that is one of the first things I recommended as a biohack, because a lot of biohacking, change the environment around you and inside of you to have full control of your own biology. A lot of times it's the stuff we do that makes us weak. That's the problem. And there, Dorian's, you can get Keto Mojo strips shipped from the Netherlands, which is awesome. So Europeans are covered there. But when you're fasting, or when you're not fasting, you get toxins. And when you fast, your gut bacteria like, I got nothing for you. Since I have nothing to eat, I'm pissed. Because I'm pissed and I'm a bacteria, the only way I can express my anger is with lipopolysaccharide, which is an incredibly inflammatory compound that crosses the blood-brain barrier and makes you get brain fog and feel cranky and usually yell at people. And it also causes muffin top. So when you start feeling really crappy, especially after a couple of days of fasting, quite often it's LPS. Well, the thing that binds to LPS better than almost anything else is good old-fashioned activated charcoal. So I got you guys a bottle of the large bottle of the Bulletproof activated charcoal. And I formulated this stuff. What we do that's very different, we actually had to do a lot of extra certification work because this is the finest particle size you can buy. The factory hates us because everything in it's covered with a fine layer of black after they manufacture it, but it's the right way to do it. It's coconut based and it's acid washed, which is really important because when you take a large amount of material and you get it down to basically activated charcoal, if there's metal, and there's always some amount of metal in stuff, the acid washes out the metal. But if you take activated charcoal that hasn't been acid washed, it can have higher amounts of heavy metals. Now, activated charcoal will bind to mercury and I think nickel, but other metals don't. So it's acid washed and it's the finest particle size. It's the same particle size that the US military identified as the one that they used for mitigating mold toxins. So it's carefully researched, but I want you to try this on an empty stomach during a fast. And even if you're doing a water fast, charcoal is safe because during a water fast, if you're burning fat, you store pesticides, you store metals, and you store all sorts of other things, including xenoestrogens in your fat. So if you're burning a lot of fat over time, then this is going to help you bind the toxins so that they don't re-enter circulation and give you brain fog and make you tired when you fast. Word of warning with activated charcoal, don't take it with a prescription drug because it'll stick to it. Don't take it with spermidine because it'll stick to it. So this stuff is, a capsule of this has somewhere around, don't trust me on this exact science because I haven't measured it exactly, but about a teaspoon from what I've seen has the surface area of around a football field. So that's because it's very highly wrinkled. So if you could straighten out all the wrinkles, you would have a very, very large amount of binding surface that's negatively charged to stick to positively charged stuff. So lots of stuff for fasting in there. And that is what you get in this box. So you've got your spermidine, you've got your charcoal, you've got the only signed copies of this book in existence, your full-on ketone meter, and some breath training stuff. I think that's a pretty good deal. I'm really stoked on this box. And Dorian's like, this is Christmas and birthday in one. Lisa, I'm just going to answer some questions for you guys. How often and how much charcoal can you take for mold toxin removal? The limiting factor for charcoal is constipation. For some people, it makes you constipated. For other people, it doesn't. The cancellation for constipation is magnesium and or brain octane. And also inner fuel, the prebiotic fiber that I make for Bulletproof. That stuff also really helps to just feed the good gut bacteria. So you have stuff in there. Emily, looks like you came late. It's the Keto Mojo ketone meter that came in here. Rob Hill says, great box, thanks. And Nathan says, thanks guys. We work probably harder than you'd think to find the right stuff and to get really good deals on it so we can fit it all in there. And to make it just so it's worth your while, because I don't want to send you a bunch of cheap plastic crap from somewhere because that would not be respectful of your time and energy. And that's not how I roll. Oh, do you guys think we should have a golden ticket? What do you think? Yeah. I totally forgot the golden ticket because my team is here. They're telling me what to do. All right, let's talk about that. We're giving away 3 of these golden tickets. And if you're new to the box, Jamie Sullivan says, some of us know how hard you and the team work. Shout out to the team. Guys, thank you. Now, golden tickets. I will go back in time to about 1997-ish. And I first became aware of the problems with EMFs in our environment. Sometime in around 2002, I sat down at my favorite coffee shop in Mountain View, California, called Red Rock Coffee. I think they might have closed because of the pandemic after like 20 years, which sucks. But they had a whole upstairs where you could have like 50 people working. There's all these entrepreneurs and stuff. And I met this old guy with, gray beard, and he'd asked to meet with me because actually, I don't know why. I guess because of my anti-aging work at the nonprofit. And he's like, Dave, I'm the guy who invented wireless internet. I hold the first patent on 802.11b, which is our first wireless protocol. And then he turns his laptop around and he goes, I took our $1 million meter, the one that we use to test field strength, and I looked at my own body with it. He's like, look at all this data. And he had diagrams, and you could see like almost like chakras, where he's like, there's more energy coming off. I think there's diagnostic data in here. And he was all excited about it. I'm like, I know there's some cool stuff going on because I've seen this, I've seen that. So I started looking at EMF mitigation stuff. This is 20 something years ago. And I bought a very ancient device that in the house would mimic the Schumann field. There's the Schumann resonance. This is something that happens when a lightning strike hits anywhere on Earth. You create this reverberation like a drum between the ionosphere and the planet itself. And this is a background 7.8 something hertz. And it's actually one of the many timing signals that our bodies use. We don't use it nearly as much as we do light, which is the most important one, followed by food, followed by temperature. But it's another one that's probably more cognitively important. And it's right around the alpha and theta kind of crossover range for brainwaves. So I've had stuff plugged into my house for 20 years. And the thing that I use now is what I got for you. The one that I would say, oh, Lydia says Red Rock is still open. They're doing a crowdfunder. Thanks for telling me, Lydia. That makes me happy. Tell them that I said hi. So I made some of my original Bulletproof coffee at their coffee shop. And so, no, Stephanie, it's not a Happy. It is substantially more expensive than a Happy. That's a good guess. Happy uses structured magnetic fields to change the state of your brain and your biology, which is really cutting edge stuff. What it is this. I think I can have it still plugged in. Yeah. This is called a Somavedic. And it is a really high-end EMF mitigation product that also can charge water in a way that the water tastes different. So what we're giving away, and these are quite expensive. So we're giving away, well, let me tell you a little bit more about it. I'll tell you which ones we're giving away. Inside they have semi-precious metals and semi-precious stones, and these do create harmonic frequencies. It makes a measurable, coherent field for environmental stressors, including 5G and everything like that. There are independent studies that look at heart rate variability changes from it. It works about 100 feet in all directions. They have different models that do different things like structure water, get rid of free radicals, get rid of mold and pathogens. I have not tested that part of it, but you can definitely affect mold with EMFs because we use EMFs to make aspergillus grow more citric acid. So you can cause more mycotoxins with negative EMFs. And there's even something called the Geopathic Zone. Have you guys even heard of a Geopathic Zone? Like raise your hand, just give me a quick, I can see this on Zoom, a few people. Well, it turns out we have these acupuncture meridians on our body, and we used to think that they didn't exist, and we'd all make fun of, acupuncture people 20, 30 years ago. But now we're like, oh, we have better measurement. It turns out there really are meridians running. And these are basically channels where electrons flow more easily at various parts of the body that are tied to other things, largely through the fascia or through the skin. The earth has the same thing, and they're called ley lines, and they are measurable. Right? Ley is how that's spelled. They're measurable. And if you are in a spot that has a ley line in it, it can mess with your biology. And they're actually experts will go out and find them and they'll block them from going into your house. Strangely enough, the Viking structures, the old ones, they had a technology where a ley line would stop at the house and continue on the other side. What most people do now is they'll block them if they're even aware of it. But these are a real phenomena. They just aren't as well studied as some, but the people who study them have plenty of data for me to know they're real. I also can tell you that I'm sitting right now on a spot where two ley lines meet. I chose it naturally. I didn't know this until I had an expert come out and they're like, you can sit there, Dave? And I'm like, yeah. And they said, that's where two things cross. Like that should be frying your circuits. But for me, it's just powers me for, I don't know why. But I can tell you that if you have earth meridian stuff in your house or in your environment that is messing with your biology, you'll probably never know about it. And it's less important than sitting next to a Wi-Fi router, but it's a variable in your environment. The Somavedic can mitigate that as well, which is really kind of a cool thing. There's different models that are available. They're made in the Czech Crystal Valley, where they make a lot of the heavy crystal. It looks like a piece of art. There's a Medic Green Ultra, which is one model. There's Amber, which is what I have. And there's the Sky models. So we're giving away one each of those. So you'll get notified. We have a random number generator that does that. And you'll get an email from us if you're one of the winners of those. And I think do we have a discount code in your booklet if you want to look at the tech? It is the highest end and most thought out and comprehensive plug-in mitigation technology that I've been able to find. And I am 100% certain, because I did non-clinically supervised placebo-controlled trials. I put a case of Pellegrino around mine when it's plugged in, and I have the one that charges water. And the next day, you can pour 2 glasses, one from charged water, one from not charged water. And the charged water tastes noticeably different. Like the finish on the water is completely different. So there is something interesting going on with these devices. I think you guys, if you win them, you'll enjoy them. If you're looking at EMF mitigation, you should consider it. And of course, you get a discount because you're in the box anyway. But it's really cool, and I'm really enjoying having it in my home. I have purchased these for the new Victoria coffee shop that opens in a month or two. Do we know our date yet?
April 1st.
April 1st. We should be opening in Victoria, British Columbia, with a new coffee shop, a new Upgrade Labs. And after that, my podcast studio is going in, and then a 40 Years of Zen and an anti-aging clinic in Victoria, BC. But I'm putting these devices throughout. There'll be one in each of the things. And I think it's something that is noticeable and makes a difference for you. So I wanted you guys to know that this technology existed, and that all that weird stuff is going on in the environment that you probably haven't heard of. Even a lot of the EMF sites don't talk about Ley Lines. But the cool thing is, look at what's in the brochure, look at the website. It's pretty high end, not cheap, but it's worth knowing about. Now I'm ready to answer some questions for you guys too. If you'd like, just regular Q&A, which is part of what you get when you're a subscriber to the box. And I appreciate that you do that. The box is fun for me. It's fun for the team. And I think it genuinely adds value to you, or you wouldn't do it. So part of this, let's answer some questions.